Hi there and welcome to another session of Accountancy for the 12th Standard with me, Vishwanath Sir. What we did so far was comparative statements. We are yet with comparative statement in the analysis of financial statements. That is your part B of your accountancy for your 12th standard. So we came to know who are the users and what can be done with your comparative financial statements. We of course will now come to the negative part of it, that is your limitations. Fine. So we directly start off from limitations today and talk about various aspects which is a limitation to the comparative financial statements. The number one limitation is historical records. When we analyze historical records, basically we are analyzing the records of the past. Okay, and sometimes there is no trend which is happening in the past, so it's very difficult to know what is relevant. Okay, so historical records of the entire past, you're trying to gather it and compare it with the trends which are going on now. You will not come to any conclusive decisions there. Okay, since the data which we are using are historical in nature. So it is an analysis of historical records, which means it is an analysis of the past statements. It at the most indicates the trends which are happening in the past. So we cannot compare it with the future. It is not reflective of future, which is more relevant. Okay, so the relevance is completely lost. Secondly, it is affected by personal judgments. Financial statements are prepared on the basis of accounting concepts and conventions along with the estimates. Examples being depreciation, provision for doubtful debts. If the estimates are incorrect, the projections based on comparative statements will not be reliable. So you have to strengthen and see that you are using the best system where you will get the best result. If you use anything which is slightly offshoot, like if it's 2%, 3%, it might cause a big difference. Okay, so affected by the personal judgment, financial statements are prepared on the basis of accounting concepts and conventions, along with estimates and examples being depreciation and provision for doubtful debts, etc. If the estimates are not correct or incorrect, the projection based on comparative statements will not be reliable. Okay, so that was your second limitation. The first limitation, of course, was historical records. So what were the two limitations which we did so far? One was the historical records, and secondly, it should not be affected by personal judgment. Coming to point number 3 in the limitation, qualitative elements are ignored. Okay, so how well it is done, how well the manpower has done, all those things are completely ignored. Financial statements when prepared do not consider the qualitative elements such as the manpower quality. It considers only those items which can be measured in terms of money. Since the comparative statement is based on financial statements, it ignores the qualitative elements of business which have a significant impact. Okay, so the qualitative aspects is never shown in the figures. It is just shown that the companies fared well or not fared well, and little is taken into cast that they have got brilliant employees and brilliant human resources. So point number 3, qualitative elements are ignored. Financial statements when prepared do not consider the qualitative elements of the business such as manpower quality. It only considers those items which can be measured in terms of money. Since a comparative statement is based on financial statement, it ignores qualitative elements of a business which have a significant impact on it. Okay, fine. So these are qualitative elements. Coming to the next point, the price level changes are ignored. Okay, you don't you take that into consideration. So if there's a fall in the result, it would be very difficult for someone to locate as to why is the fall possible, okay, or why it has happened. So the price level changes are ignored, and you have to compare it with the value of money, which was not the previous year. If there's a substantial rise in the price of certain goods, it's not taken into consideration. Okay, coming to point number 5 in the limitation, there is a variation in accounting policy. If two firms follow different accounting policy, then a meaningful comparison of financial statements is not possible, because the basis on which they are comparing itself doesn't serve any purpose. So the very fact that your comparative elements are lost there. Okay, so just repeating again the limitations of comparative statements. Number 1, historical records. These are records which are from the past and they continue, but if you are trying to compare it with the present, it will not give you any particular trends which are relevant of the happenings which go around you. Second, affected by personal judgment. When you talk about certain concepts and conventions with estimates, examples of depreciation, provision for doubtful debts, if these estimates are incorrect, then the projection based on comparative statements will not be reliable. So it has to be accurate, it has to be somewhere close to it, if not dead accurate. Third is the qualitative elements are ignored. Okay, so how well the human resource is doing for an organization is completely ignored. So these are certain things which have to be taken into account. It considers those items which can be measured in terms of money. Okay, so and then based on the financial statements, it also ignores the qualitative elements which have got a significant impact on it. Then the price level changes are ignored. So inflation, if it's on the go, nothing is going to happen. And variation in accounting policy in different states, in different places, in different locations, you have got different ways of working. Okay, so this is your limitations of comparative statements. Okay, now the tools and techniques for techniques for comparison of financial statements. There are 4. One is the common size balance sheet, then you have the comparative balance sheet, you have the comparative balance sheet and comparative profit and loss account, that is your income statements, and common size balance sheet also, which is there, which we had spoken about it first. Okay, so let us now come first to the comparative balance sheet. So what basically happens in a comparative balance sheet? Your figures are arranged as per the vertical system and as per the Companies Act. It is arranged in such a way that we can derive facts and figures very easily. Okay, so comparative balance sheet, you can tell, is a study of the trend of the same items, group items and computed items. 2 or more balance sheets of that same business firm is compared at different dates. Okay, now from a comparative balance sheet, we can study the analysis of a balance sheet using the assets, equity and liability for more than 2 accounting years. In a horizontal analysis of balance sheet, in which each item of the asset, equity and liability is arranged horizontal for 2 or more accounting years, such analysis yields considerable amount of information, which is the value for performing the opinion regarding what is the progress of an organization. Okay, so this is to be taken into consideration. The comparative balance sheet which we just spoke about is basically the analysis of the balance sheet which is used in comparing the assets, equity and liability for more than 2 accounting periods. In the horizontal analysis of the balance sheet, in which each item of the assets, equity and liabilities is analyzed horizontally. Okay, is analyzed horizontally for 2 or more accounting periods. Okay. We end the session here. Thank you so much. This is Vishwanath sir signing off.